We are human. Humans crave emotional connections, and people still need to communicate with each other. People don't want to speak with robots. Hey, my name is Lisa Hugo, and I'm obsessed with helping other people find and develop their voices so they can go out and take on the world, be seen as an authority, expert, and speak their truth with utmost confidence because they know that what they have to share will connect with their audience and make a difference. I studied performing arts and spent 20 years of my career traveling the world as a professional singer-songwriter. I teach you the secrets to speak up and be heard, overcome your fears, to build your speaking skills, and learn how you can use your skills to make a change both in your own life and the lives of others. This is your one-stop shop for all things confident speaking. This is Impact Through Voice. Well, hey there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Impact Through Voice podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Hugo, and today's episode is addressed to those who want to increase their earning potential and their income. And I don't know anyone who wouldn't say no to that, right? So today, I'm going to talk about just how you can do this using your one most valuable asset that's going to help you to get there. I'm talking about your voice and the power of your words. Now, if you're not using your voice to establish yourself as the go-to person in your industry to build your personal brand and be seen, you are missing out on so many opportunities. So today, I want to focus on how you can make money with your voice and why the introduction of AI and the ability to clone our voices and our images is not in the least going to affect this in the near future or replace the power of your voice. And I'm also going to give you 5 very clear ways that you can literally start making money with your voice. And I'll also share approximately how much you could expect to earn with these 5 methods, all right? So make sure you stick around for that. It's a very short episode anyway, so let's just dive straight in. Now, we all know that effective communication is a major key to success. Whether you're an employee, an employer, someone who works in the mail department, or the CEO of the company, employers will favor someone who has excellent communication skills over someone who doesn't. And customers look for a brand or a person that they feel connected to and they can trust. We warm to certain voices, and then we're repelled by others. But how we speak, I would say, is for the majority of people an underdeveloped skill. We don't learn how to use our voice when we're growing up. We just start speaking. We mimic our influences. But you see, those influences might not be the best examples of great communication. They might not be effective communicators. So we could be picking up traits and characteristics that might even be adversely affecting our communication. Unless you are trained in voice acting, in singing, in radio, and presenting, you won't have learned how to fully master how you speak. Now, companies realize the importance of developing communication skills. And I think many companies are offering training programs on public speaking and effective communication, but very few of these courses teach you how to speak. And I'm talking about how we use our voice, the subtle nuances, the texture of the voice, the pitch, the use of intonation, the way we can pace, the energy, the volume changes, the ability to speak clearly and to hold the attention of the listeners. And while I was researching this topic, I found some really interesting statistics. And one of those is that 86% of employees attribute the company failures to poor communication. That's pretty powerful, right? And I've seen this time and time again in the entrepreneurial space. Those businesses that fail to communicate their product or their service effectively to their customers don't succeed, or they struggle. So what I'm trying to say here is that your voice is a key ingredient in your path to find financial success. So if your communication skills are letting you down, or you want to know how you can take your speaking skills to the next level, get yourself a coach. Master speaking, and a whole new world of opportunities are going to be opened up to you. I mean, think of it this way. Imagine you're a tennis player. You love tennis. You play every weekend, but something's off. Your serve is off. You've tried to change things up. You've watched other tennis players and you've copied, but you still can't get it. And then one day, you're in the club and Richard Williams is there. And Richard Williams is the coach for Serena Williams. So he knows what he's doing. And he pulls you aside and he says, I was watching you earlier, but you're making one big mistake in your serve. Do you mind if I show you how you could fix it? And then he demonstrates what you need to change. You implement that change and boom, you have increased your tennis game by 100%. You see, you can't see what other people can see. You can't see yourself. So you need a third person's perspective. And just one or two little tweaks could make a massive difference. And that's why having a coach is so important. A few years back, I was struggling in my business. I needed to earn more income. I was the sole breadwinner for my family. I had 2 teenage girls, I had a husband who was out of work, I had 5 cats, and we live in Dubai. What I was earning from my one-on-one coaching business wasn't paying the bills, and we had eaten into a huge chunk of our savings for our future. And so I didn't just want to earn more, I needed to. But I didn't know how to do it. So I got an opportunity to work with a guy by the name of John Pemberthy. Now he's a marketing expert based out of the UK. He's helped countless people just like me to break free from this one-on-one ceiling where you're trading your time for money. And he runs a huge event in London once a year. So I went to him. I paid a lot of money to work with him, even money that I didn't really feel I had, but it was important to find those next steps and get myself out of this situation. And the first thing he said to me after checking out what I'm doing, he said, you have to stop the one-on-one coaching, or you have to limit it significantly. And he asked me, he said, Lisa, do you find that there are certain things that you say over and over again to the same customers? You feel like you're repeating yourself to teach them what you know? I said, absolutely. Almost every single client. I said, well, what you need to do is package up your knowledge into an online program that they can consume, where they get this information, which is information that you share the same time every time to your clients. And then what you can do is you can have some group coaching where they can come in, they can meet you live, and you can give them feedback and help them to understand that content and take it to the next level. And then if you really need to have some one-on-one coaching, you can, but you're offering at a premium price to only a select few. And you can increase your prices, and this is the way to increase your income. Well, in 3 months of working with John, I went from making 10 to 15K months to 30K months. And then from 30K months, I went to 50K months. By following the advice of someone who's an expert, who could see exactly where I was stuck and then give me the right solution to be able to change my business model and grow a scalable business. Whereas before, I was capped. My income had a ceiling and it was impossible to grow. So here's another piece of information or another piece of advice that I can give you. You have to be receptive to not only hear the advice, but to implement it. And that can be scary. Change is scary. That fear of the unknown, stepping away from what we know and where things are comfortable. And I can tell you this is going to help you to understand the importance of working with an expert if you want expert results. And that then brings me back to your voice. Now, I agree, some people are naturally gifted with their voice, with a voice that draws us in. But most likely those people were surrounded by good speakers and communicators when they were growing up. So they developed this skill. But if that's not you, then it is a skill that you can learn. And then I think some of you might also be thinking, yeah, that's all great, Lisa, but is it even necessary anymore to work on my voice and my communication skills when AI is just coming in and taking over the world and my voice can be replicated and used to then build my authority and my expertise and my connection through content that I can put out there? Well, that might be true. You can do that. You can clone yourself and you can put it out there and make it out as if it's you to a certain extent. But first, you have to have a voice that people will want to listen to. That's the first thing. And here's why it doesn't work. Your voice conveys emotion, personality, humanity that no AI overdub voice could even come close to recreating. And even if you clone your own voice, then the emotion will be stripped. We are human. Humans crave emotional connections, and people still need to communicate with each other. People don't want to speak with robots. I mean, you know how it feels when you get on a call with a customer service center and you have to go through a ton of prompts to get directed to the information that you're actually looking for or the solution to the problem that you're facing. Like, hello, this is your virtual advisor. What can I help you with today? Just speak clearly. I've got a sick cat and I want to speak with the vet. Sure. To make sure I understood you correctly, you have a sick cat. Would you like to make an appointment? I can help you with that. No, I want to speak with the vet first. I don't know that one. Try this. Press 1 to make a booking. Press 2 to get your account balance. Press 3 for boarding. Press 4 to go back to the main menu. And then you end up so frustrated because you can't get through to a real person. And this happens over and over and over again. I get so frustrated when this happens. I'm sure you do too. You have a voice. Now, I promised you 5 methods that you can use to make money with your voice. And this is aside from the obvious of being seen, being recognized, elevating your credibility in your industry or in your job because you can communicate your expertise and your message better. But I want to give you 5 solid ways that you can use your voice today to make money effective immediately. Of course, it goes without saying, you need to have a voice that audiences will want to listen to for this to really work. So I'm going to start with the first one, voice over acting. So I'm talking about commercials, documentaries, films. Demand for voice actors is actually growing. And the average pay that you could earn is $30+ an hour. And the more experience you get, then you could be making $100 to $500 per hour. Now, the key to success in this field is to have a very distinctive, emotive voice and the ability then to manipulate how you sound to suit different roles. For example, I could say, with Pampers, every little moment is a big deal. Let's say that's just a line out of a commercial. But I could deliver this line with lots of different tones and styles, which are going to give a very different feeling to the listeners. I could be very gentle and reassuring. I see. With Pampers, every little moment is a big deal. I could be playful and happy. With Pampers, every little moment is a big deal. I could take it down to soft and loving that would express tenderness or affection for those Pampers that we want and need. With Pampers, every little moment is a big deal. No, I don't even think that was very good. With Pampers, every little moment is a big deal. Or I could just then sound confident and reliable. With Pampers, every little moment is a big deal. So you can instill trust in your audience by doing this. AI can't replicate the little nuances and the emotions of a human voice. And that's what connects you to your audience. That's what gets a customer to buy. So if you want to get into this field, you can build an inexpensive home recording studio or connect with studios who are looking for artists to come into their studios. And there are many sites, which I'm going to put in the show notes below, that you could use to set yourself up and get your voice heard and start getting bookings. Just showcase your abilities, and you could be making a healthy living using your most powerful instrument, and that's your voice. All right, I'm going to move on to number 2, and this is audiobooks. You know, as AI continues to advance, you're probably thinking audiobooks. Now, you might be thinking, why would reading audiobooks really be a thing anymore if AI is coming in where you could give it the entire script and it could read the entire book? And it comes back again to people always connect more with a human voice, especially when it comes to storytelling. When listening to audiobooks, we need the story to come alive or we're going to switch off, we'll get bored. So we want the narrator to speak then with emotion and differentiate between the different characters. And only a human voice can do that authentically. So how much could you earn by reading audiobooks? You could earn $200 to $400 per finished hour of audio as an audiobook narrator. And the key is being able to manipulate your voice, to bring the story and the characters to life, to play with accents, to pace and use different tone and different volumes. So how do you get into this? Record a short sample of an audition script, and you'll find them on the internet, and start to build your portfolio. And then you can apply with that audition script to audition for titles, book titles that are being, to apply for book titles where people are, to apply for book titles where narrators are being sought. And there's plenty of these sites. I'm going to put a few of them again into the show notes. I don't want to list them all out here, where you can go and you can set yourself up and start getting booked. So once you have your first few books, then you're probably still only going to be earning $100 or $200 total, but that's a pretty good hourly salary, right? Or even that's, you know, depending on the length of the book, that's not a bad amount to earn. But once you build your experience, then with time, then you could be earning $50K, $100,000 per year, or even more as an audiobook narrator. And you get to read some really interesting books and potentially learn new things, or at least be entertained while you're entertaining others. Now, audiobooks are becoming more and more popular as we consume content on the go. And in the coming years, audiobook sales are projected to surpass even print book sales. So there's never even been a better time to use your voice to captivate audiences with your audiobook narration skills. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 3, and that's to create a digital course. This is one of the most lucrative ways to make money online. If you have expertise on a topic that others will want to learn from, you can package up that knowledge into a program and sell it for anything from $50 to $50,000. People will pay you a lot of money to get them out of a problem and achieve a desired outcome. Now, obviously, there's a bit more to it. You need to identify who your perfect customer is, who is your niche, or what is your niche? Who is it that would be interested to learn from you, and how could you market your product to these individuals? So that's a skill that you would have to learn, but it's very doable, and you can do it very quickly if you have, again, the right coach. And this is where your voice is critical though, because first, you need your voice to be able to create your content for your course so that you can educate your audience, and that will be through audio or video. And then the next thing, you're going to need your voice to market to your audience through paid video ads, through webinars, and then through sales calls. And so, as I've said many times in this episode, your voice is going to build that trust, that credibility, the authority, and most of all, it's going to connect to the emotions of your audience. Successful course creators make anything from $10,000 to $500,000 per month. And I actually know several people. One of them has earned $1 million in a day, and many of them earn in excess of $1 million per month with multiple 7 figures a year. And I even know a course creator who has made $1 million in one day. I mean, seriously, this can be a very lucrative way to make money with your voice, share your expertise, and help other people, while at the same time building a lifestyle that you love. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 4. Podcasting. You are listening to a podcast. You're either listening or you're watching it on YouTube right now. So podcasting is a fabulous way to share your passion, your knowledge, and your expertise with listeners, and then grow a community of followers. And nobody wants to listen to an AI-generated podcast, seriously. But podcasts allow you to have conversations with interesting people, to expand your professional network, and to bring these conversations to your audience. Now, early on, when you're just starting your podcast, it's not going to earn you a lot of money. But as your podcast grows and you become more popular, more and more people listen, so does your earning potential. So how do you make money from a podcast? Well, I'll give you a few ways. The first way is that companies will pay for advertising space on your channel. Now, on average, you'll get about $35+ for every 1,000 listeners. Another way is you could market to other people's products and services through an affiliate partnership. So that means for every sale that you make for that other party through your podcast, then you're going to get a percentage of the profits. And I can say this is not insignificant. So let's say you sell a $2,000 course as an affiliate. You could get up to 50% of that in commission. Okay, and the last way you can monetize your podcast is to sell your own products or services. You could offer a free guide through the podcast on the topic that you're talking about on this particular show. And then to get it, they have to give their email address. So once you have them on your list, you can continue then to nurture them through your emails, through invitations to other things, and eventually introduce them to your services. So podcast listeners are generally very interested and very loyal, very warm leads. They listen to your podcast because they want to learn from you. So therefore, there's a strong likelihood that they're going to become a buyer at some stage down the track. And as I've already mentioned, successful course creators can make 6, 7, 8 figures in a year with ease if you know what you're doing. All right, my last tip is public speaking. Now, public speaking is a skill that's going to set you apart and open doors to new opportunities. When you can speak confidently about a topic that you're passionate about, your message is going to resonate with your audience. It's going to touch them, move them, inspire them, motivate them, challenge them. And it's a great way to build your brand and establish your credibility. That's then going to boost your income in other areas throughout your life and your business. Now, public speaking isn't just getting up and speaking from a stage. It could also be virtually. It could be in a YouTube video. It could be in a webinar. Now, in-person events have made a big comeback, which means that there are more and more speaking opportunities to be found. But you can also create your own. So there are different ways that you can make money from speaking from stage. If you are good and you have value to share, you could charge anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000 for one single keynote speech of 30 to 90 minutes in length. Now, this is going to vary based on your popularity and, as I said, the value that you can provide to the audience. Another way, instead of getting paid to come and speak from stage or at an event, even if it's online, you can offer to speak for free in exchange for the opportunity to sell your books, your online programs, your coaching programs. You could even pay to speak on somebody else's stage. And that's really a thing. And it can make a lot of sense as well. But of course, an event organizer is not going to just accept anybody to come up on their stage. You have to prove that you have the skill and you have the value to share. And even if the event organizer says to you, you can't sell from stage because it's a closed event and they don't want everybody coming up and selling something. You're just offering value at that event. You can usually offer some kind of a free giveaway in exchange for an email address. And as I mentioned earlier, once they are on your email list, you can then nurture them and you can turn them into a buyer at some stage down the track. So mastering the art of public speaking is going to serve you very well for decades to come. So that's my 5 tips to start making money with your most valuable asset, your voice. So friend, you can see now that your voice is a skill that you should master in 2024 and beyond if you're not already there now with the way that you can speak. There's always going to be ways to connect on a human level. AI can't match it. So you need to master your vocal skills to share your message and ultimately make more money through these different mediums: voiceover, audiobooks, podcasting, online courses, public speaking. Don't worry about AI taking over these opportunities, because we want to hear the human voice, not the machine. You've got knowledge, you've got passion to share, and your voice could help improve other people's lives. So the world needs to hear your perspective. Start recording, start getting paid. Unless we achieve a human level of AI, your voice will remain your fortune. All right, that's it for me today. If you haven't yet subscribed and you found value in this podcast, then please go subscribe, and it'd be wonderful if you could leave us a comment, because that really does help to increase our visibility and reach more people and ultimately help more people. All right, my friend, I'll see you in the next episode.